It's cherry season, sweet and sour beautiful cherries, so I decided to make a black forest Swiss roll, a nice fluffy sponge with a Swiss cherry sauce. So that's what you need. I use frozen cherry for the sauce and fresh ones for the filling. First, making the cherry sauce. 250 grams of frozen cherry. The seeds are already removed, which makes things easier. And 50 grams of sugar. Put all the ingredients into a pot, turn the heat on low, and simmer until the sauce thickens. Then, blend well with your mixer or blender. And let it cool down. Next step. Preheat your oven to 180 degrees. Now make the sponge. First, separate the eggs. $35 grams of sugar for egg white, 55 grams of plain flour, and 10 grams of cacao powder into a bowl. $25 grams of rice oil into another bowl. 25 grams of milk into the bowl with the oil. Shift the flour mix. Line a tray with baking paper. I use a little spray oil so the baking paper doesn't move. Add 35 grams of the sugar into the egg white and whip with a whisk to dissolve the sugar. Change it to electronic hand mixer and beat the egg white until they are thick, foamy consistency. You should be able to form the egg white into peaks that stand up by themselves. Next, 35 grams of sugar for the yolk. Add the sugar into the yolk's bowl and whip the yolk to dissolve the sugar. Again, change it to electronic hand mixer and beat the yolk until creamy. Add the milk and the oil into the yolk mixture and whisk it. After that, add the flour mixture, then whisk again. Add the whipped egg white in 3 dots, gently folding with a spatula. Pour the sponge mixture into the tray, then spread the mixture evenly with a spatula. Bake 180 degrees 10 to 12 minutes. In the meantime, remove cherry seed. After 10 minutes, remove the sponge from the oven and drop the tray lightly onto the bench. This will stop the sponge shrinking. Place on a rack and cover with baking paper so it doesn't dry out as cooling. Nearly finished, so stay with me a little longer. We are going to prep for the filling. 150 grams of thickened cream and 1 tablespoon of icing sugar. Whisk it to dissolve the icing sugar. Use an electronic hand mixer and beat the cream. After the sponge has cooled, remove the baking paper. Slice the edge of the sponge on an angle, so when you finish rolling, it will sit nice and tidy. Cover with the baking paper again, turn over the sponge, and remove the paper from the bottom. Cover with a paper again, turn over the sponge again, then remove the bottom paper. Bit confused, isn't it? Sorry. Spread the cherry sauce and the whipped cream evenly on the sponge. Then add the fresh cherry you took the seeds from earlier. Start rolling the sponge toward the end you sliced earlier. When you finish rolling your sponge, wrap it with baking paper to set it. Then wrap with plastic so it won't dry out in your fridge. Place it in the fridge for 2 hours. It's a long journey to make this Japanese-style roll cake, but it will be worth it. So, how about baking one for Christmas? Japanese Swiss roll meets German Black Forest cake is a beautiful match. Thank you for watching, and if you like video, please click subscribe and like for more information. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!